Here is a financial concern expressed by pre-retirees and retirees in discussion forums and groups. I've heard the free look period is my safety net after signing an annuity, but nobody told me what I am actually supposed to check during those 10 to 30 days. What specific thing should I be looking for to know if I made a mistake before it's too late to cancel? By the end of this video, I'll show you exactly the 5 questions that you need to ask your advisor or the insurance carrier and get answers for to ensure that you have signed up with the right annuity. If you get the answers, that's fine. If you don't, I think you should exit the annuity contract before your free look period ends. I am Sridhar, a financial advisor specializing in the retirement wealth management space. Over the years, I've helped several pre-retirees and retirees secure finances for the retirement years. I will provide a strategic solution for a very specific financial problem in every video within 5 minutes. In this video, I'm going to explain you the 5 aspects or questions that you should be looking at with your annuity contract before your free look period ends so that you can decide if you can stay in the contract or exit from it. Now, what are the causes for this problem? Most people who sign up for the annuity, they say, my advisor said I had time to review, but you guys do not know what you should really be looking for within that contract. Second, you felt that the contract language was confusing, so you assume that, the insurance carrier will take care of everything. I don't have to worry about it. Probably everything is fine. That's what you thought, and that's also a problem because you haven't verified anything. Third, before you really look into something and try to get and understand, your free look period expired, and that is also a big problem. Now, what are the most common approaches that people try and why does it fail? Most people do not do anything because they assume that the advisor has guided them well. But then the verbal promises made by your advisor need not always guarantee that everything is taken care of. Second, you try to read the contract and you feel confusing because insurance contracts are actually designed for legal clarity. They're not designed for consumer clarity. Third, you wait until you feel something is wrong and then you want to act upon it, but then your free look period has actually expired by then. Now, what is a solution that I recommend? I recommend that you go through the verification questions and steps that I'm going to show in the next slide, because you will then understand, if you're on the right path or not. Second, this is designed, basically you asking questions is a better way to really clarify based on what you were told verbally, comparing to what the contract actually legally says. Third, if you actually find any discrepancies within this free look period, I think it's time for you to exit. So this is the right solution. So let's see what are the steps. First, you want to look at the contract summary page. The contract summary page is usually the first 1 to 3 pages of your contract. It should have everything listed. For example, like what are the cap rates, what are the participation rates, what is your penalty-free withdrawals, everything. So search for the summary page. If you don't find it, ask your advisor or the insurance carrier. You should actually find it in the first 2 to 3 pages, the information that I just mentioned. Second, you want to compare the surrender schedule illustration and compare it to what you were told by your advisor. Surrender schedule means, let's say you entered the annuity contract and then let's say a year or 2 later, you change your mind because you had some family emergency or whatever, you need that money badly. If you want to surrender the contract, you want to know how much you're losing. Usually, it's about 10% in the first year. If you want to surrender the contract and get your money out in the second year, it's about 9%. The third year, it drops to 8%. So every year, the surrender fee will drop. So see if that matches with what your advisor said and see if it's on the contract. Third, you want to verify the penalty fee withdrawal percentage. So let's say you are in the contract and you need some money for emergency. You don't want to surrender the contract, but you need some money out of it. In such a case, usually the contract should allow you to get about 10% out every year. So let's say you have $100,000 in your annuity. In the first year, let's say due to some emergency, you need some cash, you should be able to pull out $10,000. So your annuity now has about $90,000. This is penalty free withdrawal. So every year they give you 10%. Now also find out, let's say in year 4, you withdraw 10%. Year 5, you have no emergency. And year 6, you want to draw 10%. Find out if you can roll over the fifth year's 10% if it can be rolled over into sixth year. Okay, find that out. That's also important because what if in year 6 you need a little more than 10,000 from the contract? Okay, now fourth, identify the company's adjusted versus guaranteed. Usually, if your annuity is mirroring the S&P 500 index, let's say they give you a cap about 8.5%, something like that. The next year it could change a little bit. That's okay. Maybe it drops to 8, it drops to 7.5, and again the fourth year it goes back to 8. That small wiggle room always exists. You should you should not see as a big issue. But then you find the minimum guarantee, which means if the market crashes, you want to ensure that your fixed indexed annuity is actually giving you a 0% floor. You should not lose any money when the market crashes. Fifth, write down your 4 advisor promises and see if they are on the contract. For example, the first one is cap rate or growth rate. So if your advisor said it's 8.5 or 9% with S&P 500, see if it's in the contract or not. Second, the income payout rate. So if this annuity guarantees your guaranteed income payout rate, let's say in retirement they give you 6% or 6.5% or 5.5%, see if what your advisor said actually matches with the contract. Third, you want to find out what is the surrender period length. Usually the surrender period length is annuity contracts last about 10 years. You also have 7-year annuity contracts. You also have 15-year annuity contracts. But whatever period your advisor said, see if it matches on the contract. Fourth, find the penalty-free withdrawal. The penalty-free withdrawal should usually be 10%. Okay, if you find out all these questions and if you get the answers, you can stay in the annuity. If not, it's time for you to exit. Now, why does this work better? Because it focuses on matching promises to the contract terms. So what it was told to you, is it actually on the contract? Second, you are now creating a list, because initially you'll create a list and you want to check every box. So this way of writing out all these questions and checking them is actually a very good way to ensure that you have everything in order. Third, it is designed to be used as a right. All these questions that I just mentioned in this presentation are your right to know if you want to keep the annuity contract or if you want to exit from it. If you have any questions on this, write down and I'll answer it for you. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.